Good morning, everyone. This is Nosheen Mukhtar, and you're watching the Business Excellence Show. And today with me is my wonderful friend Flemming Rontved. We started on discussing how our yesterday was because we literally talk every day together, even when we are not online. So we were discussing some traits of highly creative people and what
Yes.
happens when creativity hits in. So
Actually, yeah, what happens? What happens for you?
I just lose everything. I don't want to eat and I don't want to sleep. I just want to do my thing and I want to reach where I want to reach. I have to accomplish before I finish. So I cannot do anything else because I'm so driven and it's so crazy
You
that
so
energy
in the
drives me
flow.
and I have to do it.
Yes, yes. Like me, I fall asleep 5 o'clock this morning. I was just in the flow.
Wow.
I was just in the flow. I just connected the dots and creativity. Poof! And
Right.
I needed to go up and make notes. And you know what? That's actually how I work because um, most of
Yeah.
my creative room is
Hmm.
you can say flip charts or whiteboards.
Right.
So
Hmm.
I wake up, I have a dream, I have something. Poof! I need to
Hmm.
do 4 points so I can remember next.
Exactly. Yeah,
And it
it's
can
the
be
same.
4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter, or 2 o'clock or whatever. So when you're
Yeah.
in the flow, you're
You're
not
in the
sleeping,
flow.
you're not doing anything. Poof! Time is just
Exactly.
starting by. And
Yes.
here today, we really hope you're going to be interactive because I love that. I had a goal mapping the other day and I was a little lost because people need to do things and there were no feedback. But I have a
Okay.
question for you, Yoshin,
Mm-hmm.
and for the audience. So we never know one's story. That's the first point. Well, either we are hiring or we are meeting somebody in the elevator or whatever. But the point is that belong, believe, behave, which is including. Or is it believe, behave, belong? Or is it behave, believe, belong? The last
Hmm.
is
I
excluding
yes.
because it makes conditions. So how are we approaching the world? The morning we get out of bed, is it belong, believe, behave?
You know what I think? You know what I think?
No, I
I'm going
don't.
to answer it now. I'm going to answer it now. First. Before anybody says anything else, and then you can correct me. First thing first, it differs from person to person. For me, first you need to believe and then belong with the belief and then behave accordingly. So
Yes.
you need to first believe and then belong and then behave. And that's
Okay.
how you execute your life. That's how you live through your life. That's how you
Mm,
create things. That's how you find answers and connect your dots.
yes, but that's how well, you think. I think belong because I have no conditions.
Okay.
I'm always interacting, even in the elevator or in the supermarket or in the mall or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
interacting, and then as a single individual, if I'm hiring somebody, that will be okay, you belong. You belong. This is my view. This is my perception. This is my unconscious bias because we're talking unconscious bias here
Yeah.
when we're talking
Hmm.
diversity and inclusion. So I
Inclusion.
think
Yeah.
you belong. And then when you belong, you will start believing and then you'll start behaving. This is a process of becoming.
Okay.
But if you're looking at, as you can say, companies today, more and more are going away from hiring on skills because they think we can always put on the skills.
Yeah,
But
we
the
can
attitude,
build skills.
we can always put on the skills. Attitude behavior is how you're hired today, according to your attitude, your behavior. Because if you fit into the culture in the company, you can be hired.
Hmm.
So here you need to behave first
Okay.
and then you'll start believing, and then you'll belong. But if we took away, if we were totally including and totally
Hmm.
accepting diversity, we will just say you
Hmm.
belong. And we know that life is a process of becoming. So in the end, you'll believe and you'll behave. If we're
Indeed.
looking at society today,
Right.
baby boomers, that's me. I'm not a typical baby boomer, but most baby boomer was going in, hired by a company, and stayed there until they died.
Hmm.
Then we have the Gen Z. No, not the Gen Z. That's the latest, but the Gen Y. The Gen Y found that I'm here 2 to 3 years, then I'm leaving for a higher
Hmm.
rate. I'm just growing here. I'm not belonging here. I'm
Hmm.
moving around to raise my salary. This is
Right.
how I actually did it when I was working with 10, 15 different banks. Every time I
Okay.
moved, I got a big salary raise.
Right.
The other part when we're looking at Gen Y, yes, is that 10% trust other people and
Hmm.
71% means that other people want to
Hmm.
be part of them.
Okay.
So what is when we're talking diversity and inclusion? What is the fundament?
Hmm.
Trust.
Of
If
course.
I trust, which is building relationship, communicating, it's judgment expertise, it's consistency. If I trust other people, I will have no problem accepting them. But the part here
Hmm.
is I was looking into several researches. If we're looking into diversity and inclusion, what is the three factors, main factors? It's
Hmm.
leadership, CEOs.
Yeah.
It's leaders who are translator of the strategy, the vision, mission. They are only translator of an agenda of a culture.
Right.
It is retention. You can measure by retention. If you have a good,
Hmm.
if you have an inclusive or adversity great policy, then you'll not
Yeah.
have a lot of people leaving. And
Okay.
then we focus on culture. So the culture in the company, where does that come from?
Hmm. It comes from various factors. It's decided by definitely the leadership, but it's
Okay.
also decided and determined by the people who are working inside the corporate, and it
Yes.
depends on a lot on their behavioral practices. And if those
Ah,
behavioral practices are based on inclusion and are respective of, not irrespective, are respective of diversity, then it's going to be a healthier, more balanced environment, or perhaps the more
absolutely.
growing environment.
I love what you're saying. Behavioral role. You see, the leaders, the managers in the organization is just translators of a system. The
Yes.
system comes from the boardroom, the C-suite, and is
Hmm.
lived by the boardroom, the C-suite. Is it lived by the boardroom, the C-suite? If it's not lived by the boardroom, the C-suite, if there is not crystal clear, you can say crystal clear communication of a win.
Yes.
It's not KPIs and metrics. It's a
Hmm.
crystal clear, you can say, communication of a win. Here we're talking emotions. Here we're talking visualizing.
Yes, true. Like Manal is saying, it's shared higher goals. But I
Yes,
feel that it goes beyond the shared higher goals. It goes
absolutely. Absolutely.
beyond because it's not always just the goal. You don't live by only your goals. There is more incorporation. There is human communication. There is
Yes,
empathy. There is a lot to it
yes,
that
yes.
defines not just the way you are thinking, not just the way you are producing work, but also the way you are communicating with people, the way you are helping them grow, the way you are helping them settle down into the new or the older environment, the way you are encouraging adaptability, the way you are appreciating, the way you are behaving, the way you are
Absolutely.
eating, like, you are welcoming everything,
Yes,
and that becomes inclusion.
absolutely. But here, inclusion. I have access companies where nobody knows each other. They don't know anything about what's going on outside the company. They don't know if you got children. They don't know how old your children are. When we're focusing on trust, what is the, as I said before, what is the fundament of a culture, the fundament of everything is trust. If that's broken, I'll not be open to you. If I don't trust you, I'm keeping
Yeah.
things for myself. I'm not
Yes.
sharing with you.
I'm going
I'm
back
not,
to this question. This is for not just for Fleming, it's for everybody. What is trust in inclusion in a diverse work environment? What exactly is trust, Fleming? And why shall we have? I know we need trust everywhere in all walks of life. An
yes,
employer needs to trust the employees, the employees need to trust the employer, and it goes the same in all your relationships. And wherever you go, you need to, even when you're buying something, you need to
yes,
trust the vendor to get it.
yes.
So why
What
and what is this trust in inclusion and why shall we have it?
what is trust? What is the according to Harvard, what is the three ingredients, building blocks of trust? That is building relationship. What means building relationship? That means I have an interest in you. I want to know who you are. I want to know if you got children. I want to know where you live. I have an interest in you. I'm building a relationship with you. That
Hmm.
means that I can show you empathy. In the morning, you show up and, wow, Nushin, you don't look that good, which could be an insult. And you'll say, no, my kid. And then I said, you know what, Nushin, go home, take care of your kid. Because I have built a relationship with you. I'm not deducting your salary. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, go home, take care of your kid, because I know that you'll not be that very productive. And it's a lot better you go home. So the other part is consistency. That means comes out of words, comes out of my
Hmm.
mouth, is also coming out of in my actions. I'm not
Yes.
saying, oh, Machine, go home, take care of your kids. And then I'm going to all the other colleagues and say, Machine, she always got sick kids. It's always a problem. Then I'll really not have
Yeah.
consistency. Then I'm backstabbing. And then I
Yeah.
have the judgment of saying, I evaluate, Nushin. It's better you go home, take care of your kid, get everything well done, come back tomorrow, and you'll be fully equipped to work. This is my judgment because I know you. I know
Hmm.
have the focus on your kid and not on the work. So it's better you go home, take care of everything, get it
Hmm.
organized, and then you can come back tomorrow to relax. This is my judgment because I know you. And this is my
Right.
inclusion
Hmm.
and accepting. It doesn't matter if you're from Pakistan, India, US, Europe, whatever. I don't care about that. I have the empathy and the compassion for you. And empathy is one thing, that is understanding you. Compassionated is totally different because that is understanding you and taking care of you, taking action upon the understanding I have of you. And that was sending you home. This is what I call inclusion
Yeah.
and
Right.
adversity. If you're looking at inclusion adversity in the dictionary, what does it say?
Diversity.
Inclusion, adversity, diversity. Yes, adversity, diversity is two different things. The action or state of including and being included. So I'm including
Hmm.
you when I'm doing all the actions I did when the morning you showed up, you had a sick kid. And
Hmm.
you are being included because I'm not going backstabbing you and everybody else in the organization.
Right.
So it's a practice and it's a policy. So the part of where it's a policy, we can have a policy in the company that you need to do different things. But if you don't
Hmm.
practice them, you got a problem.
You
And
got a
that's
problem, yes.
popping up. So equal access of opportunity and resources. So that's why I said I don't treat you different if you're from Asia, or if you're from Europe, or you're from the US. You
Hmm.
can. I researched Salesforce. They were talking about gender equality. They used $6 million to
Hmm.
research Salesforce, a large organization, to research and be sure that females and males got the same salary for doing the same role or the same work in 2018.
Yeah.
That's gender equality. And another
Yes.
part, we do in Denmark. We have an airport and we have autism. We are
Hmm.
actually hiring people who is having autism to sit in the airport because they are much better at looking and controlling at the video cameras. Their brain is working much better in that area. So this is where I see um, inclusion, diversity, and we can see that this needs to play out from you can say industrial designs to education,
Yeah.
to workplace, to ethnics, to whatever in society.
Hmm.
So this is actually how I see things. The other part is that there is two parts here. Loneliness, which could be exclusion, is something going around inside of you. It's according to your bias. It's according to the way you
Hmm.
grow up. It's according to your unconscious bias, your hostility, and communication. If you're hostile, you're not listening. If you're
Hmm.
acting
Yeah.
unconsciously, you're not paying attention.
Right. This is a
Now,
comment from Nilesh. He's saying that trust is a firm belief in reliability, in the truth and ability of someone or something, and we can have trust regardless of a person's situation and where he belongs. So, like you said, Fleming, a person can be from anywhere in the world and can still be trusted in a corporate because
absolutely,
obviously he's going to make use of his best potential to serve.
absolutely. But the part here is that I engaged with companies where you had fractions.
Hmm.
I engaged
Fraction.
with governments where you had fractions.
Okay.
Fractions according to earlier leaders. I'm supporting this leader who were there 3 4 years ago, and they have that's one group. There's another group supporting the leader today. There's also fractions
Hmm.
according to Europe keeping together, Asia keeping together, US
Hmm.
keeping together, and actually maybe not sharing wisdom, not sharing knowledge because there's no trust or the Asian people thinks or Indian, Pakistani, Filipinos thinks that, oh, if I'm sharing my trust, I no longer need it here. If I'm sharing my
Right.
wisdom, I'm no longer needed here. Then they got my
Yeah.
wisdom, and I'm just getting fired. So I'm keeping my wisdom for myself. But wisdom is the one thing we can share, and everybody get rich.
Yes. It's true. But not
So
everybody is always willing to share their wisdom. Because
no, why?
sometimes they feel insecure and they say, why should I share all these great tips with other people and make them succeed? And that's where some problems start.
Yes, because you're not communicating and you're not trusting. And why are you
Yeah.
not doing that? I said, where is diversity and inclusion? Where is company culture coming from? Where is retention coming from? It's a lack of trust. And I don't want to share my wisdom because maybe I get excluded, maybe I get fired. Why should I share it? I invested in it. That's scarcity speaking here. That's the
Right.
mindset of scarcity. It's not the
Hmm.
mindset of abundance.
Hmm.
If you have, and now we start talking values, generosity, prosperity, forgiveness, humility, boundaries. If we
Hmm.
bring in the values, which we have done in 3 countries, which we have done in a lot of organizations all over the world, where we
Hmm.
actually have people sitting talking together of a value, characteristics, benefits. You can say they do it in a group of 10 or 5, take between 30 minutes to half an hour to or 1 hour. That gives every participant a voice and the opportunity for a win. And they are designed to emphasize and promote personal growth. Because now we start communicating, now we start learning about each other. I don't know your story. I just judge you according to my bias and my hostility. I may not even communicate with you.
Right.
And this
But
may,
then this lack of communication is going to cost the company, not
yes, of
just a
course.
couple of people. That's the issue. So it's like when people abstain from communicating efficiently to help others in performing better, they're actually not being fair with the corporate itself.
But where does it that come from? Because if we're looking into the organization, if you're looking into a country, if you're looking into a
Right.
family, there's
Hmm.
a leader, there's a CEO, there's a boardroom. If they
Yeah.
live their agenda, strategies, vision, mission, goals, policies of diversity and inclusion, then you have the role model. And if the leaders, the managers see the C suite, the boardroom living that, then they can translate that to the people.
To the people, yeah.
Yes. But if it's not lived by the top of the organization or by the leadership of a country or the family father who's
Hmm.
not leading I don't know. Now I don't show inclusion and diversity. If we're looking into a family, who's the leader in a family?
It's
Is it
the parents. Both parents are leaders in
okay,
the family.
okay. Because now we're talking social intelligence.
Yeah.
So is the father the leader? Is the mother the leader, or are they together the leader of the family? Of every out, they are deciding every outcome of the family.
Hmm.
So what are we up a little bit against here? Social intelligence, a record of the
Hmm.
past,
Yeah.
and that's the ants we're having in our subconscious mindset. Automated negative thoughts.
Right.
Why should I share wisdom? Why should I share knowledge?
Hmm.
We're a little bit up
Sometimes I
against.
wonder, Fleming, sometimes I wonder, all these people who are usually asking these questions, why should I share wisdom and why should I share knowledge? What kind of answers their heart and their mind tells them? And what are their reasons for accepting those answers? Like, if they're refusing to do that, like when they're refusing to offer support to others, what instigates such a behavior?
What instigates such a behavior? The programming from parents, the human factory called school or education.
Hmm.
You can say, my programming was absolutely not serving me. I took all my program from my parents and throw it out. It was, first of all,
Hmm.
5 years old, or it was 20 years old when I got it, or I don't know how old. Yeah, about 20, 30 years old when I got it. And
Hmm.
my parents didn't change because I could track it back for the last 200 years the way we actually saw things.
Hmm. Right. Right.
The other part is that my uncle told me that I can easily understand, and was in the age of 6 or 7 or 8, that nobody likes you, which became my
Yeah.
truth. I took it out of context and saw myself excluded. So, how do we see ourselves? Because, as I said, unconscious bias and
Hmm.
hostility. So, if I
Yeah.
see myself excluded, I got a lot of problems.
Hmm.
If I see myself included, no matter circumstances,
Yes.
I will have a totally different, you can say, perception and a totally
The
different working
Yes,
together.
the game changes, the game changes. The moment, sorry to cut you short, Fleming, you're absolutely right. So, but the game changes when you're excluded. You experience different level of emotions. You start first up doubting yourself. You start questioning why this is happening to me. You start feeling low. You experience frustration. A lot of negative thoughts occupy you. On the other hand, this can change within seconds if you are included. Immediately, you will have a better level of motivation. You will think positive. You will start liking people and the environment, and you will be more driven to give more. And this give more thing will not come to you if you are excluded, and it will never come no matter what.
No, the point is that you need to change your glasses. You need to change your glasses. You need to
Okay. Yeah.
change your glasses.
I like this one. You
The
are
point
totally different now. Seriously, you are totally different.
yeah, the point is that you need to change the navigator, your translator of reality.
Exactly. So when you
And
change your lenses, the shift happens.
yes, if you change your lenses, everything happens. I got another story of a woman getting up every morning and saying, she was looking out the window and saying, you know what, our neighbor can't wash clothes. It's dirty. It's dirty. And she got
Hmm.
up every morning and she said that. And after 15 days, the husband did something, or that was the 15 days she got up and looked out. Wow, she learned how to wash the clothes. And then,
Hmm.
you know what? I just washed the windows. Ah, so we see things
We
according
see.
to our translator, according to our
Yeah.
perception, according to our navigator. We can be in a perfect healthy environment according
Exactly.
because of our, you can say, programming. We see it
Hmm.
negative.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
exactly what you said. Oh, I see myself excluded. Nobody likes me. Or wow, it's wonderful to be here today. And then it's totally different.
It's totally
The,
different. Yeah.
when I'm sitting with leaders, I will sometimes tell them, can you go beyond the first no?
Hmm.
If you can go beyond the first no,
Hmm.
I went beyond my uncle's words. I can easily understand nobody likes you. I just took them out. This is not my, this is a fake truth. We have
Right.
so many fake truth up here
Okay.
in our subconscious. We have
In the
so
subconscious. Yeah.
misinterpretations, programmings, which we need
Hmm.
to let go of. As I said before, I don't know your story before I sit down and communicate with you. And when I sit down communicating with you, I'm actually starting listening and I'm actually asking questions, open, curious questions about who you are. And when I learn
Hmm.
about you, my hostility will disappear. Now I may understand why your face sometimes looks like this, or why you sometimes say that.
Yeah.
I'm starting building a relationship.
Yes. So it starts from understanding and then moving on
It
towards
starts from
or having the willingness to build some relationship. Like if you
communication.
don't know the people you're working with and you're not making effort to understand them and know them better, there are less chances of you're being connected, and it goes back to our previous question about belonging and believing. So you will
Yes.
not belong at all if you don't know the
No,
people.
no, you don't know them. And you don't belong because you're not building relationships. So,
Yeah.
so you can say culture is one of them. Avenues of success in an organization. You can say challenges talking, communicating, listening, questioning, and attitude, behavior, um, huddles. That's what Shell did. Lots oil company in Holland. They started making huddles. What we do is starting working with the roundtable methodology, where we have the roundtable and we have these values, and we've done that in a lot of different organizations all over the world. So
Right.
here we talk about values, their characteristics, the benefits of the value, and how it can support you. And here we start learning. We also have a, you can say, a questioning box. So we read a text, what spoke to you in this text, and then you are answering 5 questions. And then I'll learn a lot about you. You'll learn a lot about me, and then we start building relationship. And if we do
Right.
that with characteristics, benefits, steps to follow. When we do that, we can do that in an international organization with 100,000 people. That means that if people are talking together across the offices,
Mm-hmm.
they all know that this week the value was attitude, because it's also posters. It's also um, communicated to leaders and managers. So they are
Mm-hmm.
aware of that, and they are people who may show a great attitude.
Yeah.
So what I want to go into here is the values part. I want to go into, you can say, leadership, the power of inclusion.
Right.
A leader needs to a leader is the translator, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a crystal clear message from the boardroom,
Right.
the culture in the organization, vision, mission, values, strategy,
Hmm.
goals.
Hmm.
And I said,
Hmm.
crystal clear. That's not KPIs and metrics.
Okay.
That is visualized. Visualized. When we had the goal mapping, you need to dream. You need to visualize. You need,
Yes.
and then you find your goals. Then
Hmm.
you order, put them into order, and then you start drawing, visualize.
Yes.
So
True.
when you communicate how is the win in the organization, not by KPIs and metrics, but by pictures, visualizing things. That's the crystal clear message. Get the
Yes.
discuss things with the team. And then you, as the leader, will translate that into your team as a role model. And if you really make it as the elite does in the world, you talk about that in past tense, as it already happened. Can you follow what I'm doing now?
Yes.
That was what we did in the goal map.
Yeah.
We dreamt. So as a leader, you need to pause, and a leader pausing can be just an extra breathe.
Hmm.
So he poses his own thinking.
It can be a time for more thoughts or more introspection. When a leader pauses, he's probably going to review everything that is happening to set
In
things
his
right
head.
in his head. Yeah. So he needs to do that.
Yes. When he pause, think, expose his thinking, he can start
Hmm.
establishing. He can start visualizing. He needs to communicate, but needs to be crystal clear communication. And
Yeah.
pictures are understood 60,000, 65,000 times stronger than words.
Hmm.
If we start speaking in pictures, if we put in emotions into those pictures, the why is it we need to do this?
Hmm. Yes.
We
It
can
will
connect.
change communication. It will change even understanding of people. It will
Yeah,
change their responses to that communication.
yes. So in the moment we start, using the emotions as the why, we get the things get a lot more power, because
Yeah.
you can say people or employees communicate emotionally 70%. We are
Hmm.
not, humans are not rational thinking individuals. We are illogical, irrational,
Irrational. Yes.
and sometimes we
And very
do.
emotional. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
It's true.
And sometimes we still do something even we know that it will not succeed.
That's so me.
It's so stupid. Doing the
No,
same
it's
over
not
and
stupid.
over
It's
again.
about taking chances. It's about exploring possibilities.
Yeah,
So
but it's not
sometimes
changing
an
your
employee does things out of his need to take chances and to understand if he is able to find new ways of doing
yes,
things and
yes.
if he can get new answers by implementing a different set of rules from the one that he's been provided. So
So
sometimes you
now
need to play with these things.
at
What comes to the managers is,
ah,
or to the boardroom is the inclusion of innovation. Like they need to accept. Why are you
curio-
flying, Fleming?
what
Did I give
curiosity?
you the wings?
I was flying.
Did I give you the wings? See,
Curiosity. And you're actually touching something very essential. Curiosity is leaving the world now, right now.
Exactly. So if everybody is following the same set of rules and they keep on doing it for the whole year, nothing happens. And I don't
No.
want that.
Yeah. If you had the same goals in December 2020 as you had in January, you absolutely lost something.
Yes,
So the part here is, as a leader, you need to have curiosity. You
exactly.
need you need to improvise and but still you're not compromising the values, the vision, the mission. You're not compromising integrity.
Exactly.
You need to have your fundament standing on that. But there, if you put in the curiosity, if you start asking the employees, then you also start building relationships. Then
Exactly.
you show interest. Then you
Interest.
start empower and delegate. And if the, as I said, if the employees has a crystal clear understanding of what is it we need to accomplish, not
Exactly.
you have these KPIs, you have this budget, do it. It's not
And do it
working.
your way.
Yeah, but it's not working because you're not having a team anymore. Now you have 16 individuals who is sitting focusing on their budget and their KPI.
Yeah.
What you need to have is a team, because one thing is that you are empathic and compassionate, but your
Okay.
team needs to be the same. You need to
Right.
have unity. You need to have acceptance and respect of the single individual if we start building
Yeah.
relationship. I was working with an organization where what happened here was that there were 10 people in a sales department, and then they were very individual, but
They were.
they started playing football every Friday, which is normal. They were all Arabic, which normally is a holiday. They put
Yeah.
aside 2 hours and went out and played football together and built relationships because they could
Right.
see the benefits.
Yes. And here is one comment. So Steve says it's very important. So incorporate small things into your corporate diary, like uh, to have all culture on board, like you celebrate, you have events, and you
Absolutely,
keep engaging.
absolutely.
So when you were saying that they started playing football on weekends or on Friday, I said weekend
Yeah,
because that's weekend for us. On
that
Friday,
is
they
me.
were actually connecting and creating common events where people can
Yes,
connect, talk, share experiences.
yes,
Now, sharing talks is different than sharing experiences. You do things, you connect better when you share experiences than when you are just sharing a talk.
yes. So another part we have done in other companies is share a personal story. And I've done that in the Middle East, and people will say, "We never done that before. We can't do this." And then they need to do it. First of all, they need to put up 5 to 10 personal stories, and then they needed to choose which one they wanted to share. And
Right.
they were so happy. They never thought of that.
Yeah.
Another part is that if you start sitting down focusing on who brought you where you are today, who can you be thankful for where you are today, and make a list of that. And
Okay.
then share it with other people. Oh, my father. Oh, my mother. Oh, this leader, he was the most amazing leader I ever got. He really empowered me and delegated and was fertilizing and growing me and compassionated and empathic. He's my role and stuff like that. So when we begin start sharing things, what he talked about was that it's not going for a lecture. It's actually sitting sharing things. In other companies, we have said that you have 6 departments here. So you take one from each department and then they go to lunch together. So they don't need to meet at the smoking room and talk
Yeah.
They can go to the lunchroom and talk. What's going on in your department? What's going on in my department? And
Yeah.
in other companies, we just have huddles where we are sharing great stories once a week,
Yes.
gathering for
Yes.
10, 15 minutes. Oh, I had this client, I just turned him around and he signed, blah, 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 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Success stories, sharing success stories.
These stories can really be very motivating. And then,
Yeah,
if they're shared in larger groups, they can bring in more insights because every second person is going to have his own interpretation and is going to bring his own meaning to it, and that's going to help in more than one ways.
yes,
It
absolutely.
can actually leverage ideas for others.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or there's many ways to do things, as he said, small things every day. Another company we had there, we had three faces, the three smileys. So here, if you didn't sleep whole night because you were very creative, you may not be that engaged, and then you just put up not a happy mouth, and then people were not engaging to you. So you actually
Hmm.
told people up front that today, please, I need a little peace, or today I'm very happy, or whatever. And if you put up the sad mouth, people will come to you and say, what's going on?
Yeah.
Anything I can do for you?
Hmm.
So here we started creating compassion and empathy just by
Hmm.
small signals
Yes.
and the understanding of each other and the respect of each other. And
Yeah.
most of all, communication.
Hmm.
And the other part is that if I know who you are and you know who I am, then I
Hmm.
know exactly how to speak to you. That's where we put in the disc or the LIFO, where we
Yeah.
know that your action, excellence, supporting, giving, or reasoning, uh,
Hmm.
harmony, or reasoning, or whatever. Then I easily understand who you are. So
Yes.
the part here is that creating the understanding for our differences
Hmm.
and the trust that I'm here and I belong here. But all that comes from the top and is translated through the leader and out to the single individual. I
Yes.
don't have those breaks anymore. I had them before. I was
Hmm.
45, but I really don't have them. I choose if I want to speak to somebody in the elevator or not. I choose if I want to speak to somebody in the street. I just go and say, hello, who are you? Or somebody stops me in the mall and I go for the mall and speak to 50 people and I can't leave. It takes me 6 hours. I just needed to go and buy a banana.
Oh, six
And that's
hours
that,
just to buy
that,
a banana. Seriously?
yeah, that's because you can invite people.
Okay.
People will approach you. And that's again a choice you have in the morning to. I don't think we as people wake up in the morning to have a bad day.
Hmm.
But the day, if we're not careful, may make us bad.
Hmm. Okay.
If I get out of bed in the morning and I'm late, and I go down and my breakfast is not done, then I can get
Yeah.
angry. I can start doing it.
Hmm. Right.
I can go into the car and turn on the radio and listen to a lot of, you can say, negativity, or I can just put on my great music and then I can start meditate.
Yeah, and then change everything because the
Yes,
moment you have some great music, your feelings will change.
it does. And then I can come to work and then nobody said good morning. Then I'll just yell good morning, hello, what's going on? What are we
Yeah.
doing today?
And that will have a breakthrough. Like people will start responding to you.
Yes. So
And there
so
will
so
no more be an odd silence. So everybody will have comfort.
yes, this is the part where you decide. So it's diversity inclusion is a two-way street again.
Hmm.
First of all, you need to. the leadership need to communicate to you what is where we headed, what is the they need to set you up for a win. They need to provide the resources. They need to have an abundance mindset. They need to grow you and fertilize you, in my opinion, and not see you as a cost. In the moment the leadership or the organization invest in you, you will invest in them.
Hmm.
But if they don't invest in you, it's not equal anymore, is it?
Yeah, and it might not interest you at all. And you might not invest the way you expected to do if things were otherwise.
You may change your job and say, okay, fine, I hope I can get a better job. Or if we're looking into salaries and benefits, they are not doing it today. You
Yes,
put up a survey, or I see other surveys on LinkedIn. It's not money that counts today. It's not necessarily the money that's counting today. It's the growth, it's the culture, it's the environment for a good workplace that makes me stay. If we're looking at surveys, it's the way the leadership looks at us, and as well as the way we look at the leadership.
right, right.
Not necessarily salary. It may be
Hmm.
right now because those are pumped down, but in a normal situation, I choose. We had other organizations where Europeans started leaving because the culture were not no longer attractive,
Right.
as well as the salary. The salary started reducing, and then they said, "Okay, fine. Then we're looking at the culture. I want to stay here. Do I don't, or I don't want to stay here." And then the culture was not that attractive, so they went home to their country. So there, we needed to solve the situation for the company, so they still could attract.
True. Good morning, Muhammad Idris. Good to have you with us today.
Good morning, Mohammed. Hope you're good. You don't look. You're not looking for new opportunities anymore. Did you get a job? I hope so. So here, what is going on is the boardroom, the culture, and then retention. We can actually also measure feelings and emotions in an organization with the latest neuroscience tools. So, so,
Right.
so changing those things and changing, you can say, listening, communicating, growth, investing, and stuff like that is some of the things that and open up. You are included, belong,
Hmm.
and let it come out of the actions,
Right.
not just paid lip service. Okay, that's
Yes,
it.
that's it.
Great.
Thank you so much for the insights, Fleming. It was a very interactive and interesting session, and we enjoyed the conversation with you.
I hope so. I hope so. There were not a lot of interaction, but I hope people are
Today, the
listening.
interaction was a little less. We were expecting our friends to say more, and we're still waiting for you guys to have any questions if you'd like to ask.
Yes, send me an email, Fleming double M at espworld.com, or to Machine or whatever, or just start when we put up the post, start commenting. Is there something you want
Yes,
answered? Ask the questions. Ask questions,
exactly.
ask questions, ask questions. The only way you become more clever, more you grow, is asking questions. And no questions are stupid.
Shifali is here, Fleming. Hello,
Yes.
Shifali, how are you? Is there anything you would like to ask us before we close? Okay, there is one question from Mullah Abdullah. He wants to know how to go beyond the limits.
How to go beyond the limits?
In what context?
Yes,
Mullah, can you share in what context you
but the
want to
point
go
is,
beyond the limits?
where are the limits? Is it your own limits or is it other people limits?
Yeah,
Is the organizational limits or is it other people limits in general? If it's other people limits in general, then it's only an expression of their limitations and not yours. I
yeah.
had I was looking at a LinkedIn post from Safe, Dr. Safe at ADNOC Director CEO, the top, and he said in a post at LinkedIn, I was doing something, and then I told about people to other people I was doing that, and they'd say that's impossible, but I already
Yeah,
did it.
right.
So to achieve success, but the limitations for achieving success is only inside of you, Mr. Muller. It's
Yeah.
not because life is infinite. Your current result is not a representation of your potential, only your current level of awareness of your potential. So if you raise awareness of your potential, your life is infinite. So this is something going on in your subconscious mindset, the programming from 0 to 7. So I would gladly take a conversation with you, one to one.
Sure. One to one. Will help you.
Yes, not a problem. So access Adam Lushin or me at LinkedIn or send us an email, and you can have an hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, where I will check out what is your limitations. I don't know them.
Of course, he needs to understand what his limitations are before
Yes, but I don't know
going
them. He
beyond
got
them.
the answers inside himself. I don't know
Exactly.
anything. He knows everything, but he may need a thinking partner.
Yes, you're right. Shifali
Uh,
is asking a question. What activities do we need to offer for employees? She's a HR manager.
yes, but that I will say consult the employees. What do they want? What can be done? We can come up with great ideas, but I would rather say normally when we work with an organization, we go in and make focus groups and and those focus groups makes action plans, and those action plans get approved by the management, and then they start doing. So as I said before, I don't know. The answers is within the organization. And if I ask the open curious questions, I'll get the answers. That we, as I said, we do by focus groups, action plans, approval of action plans, and then the employees start doing.
Yeah.
If the employees put on or tell us what they actually want, and we are supporting them in that area.
Yes, true. Knowing
Great.
the needs is important. Like if they don't share the need, you cannot do anything.
That's like
Like you
Google.
cannot offer them activities they are not interested in or they are not
No,
wanting. They will
no,
not engage that way. So you need to
no.
understand them first and know their needs and then create and curate something accordingly.
You can't know what they want. And then you can start doing a lot of things, which has a lot of cost, but it's not doing anything because the people don't like it.
Then give them the fun activities,
Then
Shifali.
give them the fun
Give
activity.
them fun activities that will make them more productive. If there is no
Yeah,
fun, I cannot be productive. So how do I expect other people to be productive without fun?
the part is that again, we can easily do a workshop where we're starting making fun and we're also putting in learning. It's not a problem,
Yeah.
but it has
Yes.
a cost. So we would love to engage with you if you have a budget,
Yes.
and it's not expensive, and it's done virtual, so there's no travel cost, no accommodation or anything,
Yeah.
and we can do it very funny and
I'm
also
sure
sowing
of this.
seeds for growth.
Yes.
Great, wonderful. Have a
Okay,
good day.
wait. One question came. Mr. Shahid Majid is asking something. What our responsibility being an employer? Employers have a lot of responsibilities, Majid.
Yeah,
They
I
are
would love
extensive.
to take that one to one, Mr. Shahid Majid,
Yeah.
because it's the individual. It's I don't have the answers. I can
It's
come
very
up with
specific to, yeah, it's very specific to your situation and you, like what kind of challenges you're facing to ask this question.
yes.
Because
What are
an employer has a lot to do.
yes? So what are the objectives? What's going on in your business? We can do a survey, and we can do a lot of things, but we need to know what's going on because otherwise,
Yeah.
it's like going to the doctor. You have a lot of symptoms, and he'll evaluate and give you either pills or other things.
Yes. True.
Great.
All right. Okay, Fleming, thank you so much. Have a good day. Shifali is happy and she's going to connect
Wonderful.
with you about this.
Yes. Great. See
All
you.
right. Okay. See you. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.